Hi everyone. I have never written anything like this before, but I feel I must share what I experienced last summer. It's a story that still gives me chills and has changed my life forever. It all started on a typical summer day, with a blazing sun that made everything glow brightly. I had decided to spend the day by the river, a place we used to go with my friends since we were kids. The heat was unbearable, so the river water was always a welcome relief. That day, I arrived at the river around noon. The sun was at its highest point and there was not a cloud in the sky. The river current was moving slowly, and everything seemed calm, almost perfect. I was waiting for three of my friends, Jorge, Luis, and Carla. We had met in high school and had always been inseparable. They were like my family. They arrived shortly after me, with their backpacks full of food and drinks. We spent the afternoon swimming, talking and just enjoying the day. The heat was sweltering, but the river water was refreshing. Everything seemed normal, just like any other summer day. We talked about everything and nothing at the same time, remembering old anecdotes and laughing out loud. After a few hours, we decided to have lunch. We sat in a shady area near some trees that offered relief from the relentless sun. As we ate, I noticed that there was a strange silence in the air. The birds that used to sing around the river could not be heard. I commented to Jorge, but he just shrugged his shoulders, saying it was probably the heat. After lunch, Jorge, Luis, and Carla decided to go explore a farther part of the river, where we used to fish when we were kids. I decided to stay behind, as I was feeling a bit tired. I told them not to take too long, it would soon be time to go home. About 30 minutes passed and I started to worry. They had not returned and the sun was starting to go down, although there was still plenty of light left. I decided to go and look for them, thinking that maybe they had been entertaining themselves with something interesting. I walked along the river bank, calling their names. There was no response. I kept walking and calling out their names, feeling a growing uneasiness in my chest. As I went on, the surroundings became quieter and quieter. The sounds of nature seemed to have faded away, and I could only hear the sound of my own footsteps and my breathing. After about 20 minutes of searching, I saw something in the distance that froze me in my tracks. There were three figures in the water, floating near a large rock. I rushed over, my heart pounding a mile a minute. When I arrived, I realized it was them. Jorge, Luis, and Carla. They were motionless, their bodies floating lifelessly in the water. The scene was surreal, like something out of a nightmare. There was no sign of a struggle, no sign that they had tried to escape. They were just lying there, dead. I froze for a moment, unable to process what I was seeing. Then panic set in and I pulled out my phone to call the police. The wait took forever, but they finally arrived. The place was soon filled with officers and onlookers. Investigations were carried out, but they never found the person responsible. There were no fingerprints, no clues, nothing that could explain what had happened. Officials said it could have been an accident, but we all knew there was something else. The autopsy revealed that they died from drowning, but the strange thing was that they were all good swimmers. It didn't make sense that they would have died like that. The authorities closed the case as an accident, but I couldn't accept that explanation. Since that day, I have not been back to the river. The image of my friends floating in the water still haunts me. I can't help but feel a deep sadness and immense helplessness. I have tried to move on, but it is difficult. Sometimes, in the darkest nights, I think about what could have happened. Who or what killed them? Why? The killer has never been found, and the truth is, I don't know if he ever will be. But what I do know is that life was never the same after that hot summer day. I have moved to another city, away from that cursed place, but the memories are still there. Every time I see a river, I feel a knot in my stomach. My friends deserved better than this, and I won't rest until I find the truth. But for now, all I have are unanswered questions and a pain that will never go away.